Crazy. We're live. Awesome. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the latest live video from Mike W. Spenson. That's me. And in honor of May the 4th, I wanted to do a fun little, video to get us all prepped for it. And without any further ado, let me introduce this fun panel. Chinmo, how's it going tonight?
Great. Just great. No, I'm pumped to be here as always, and we're talking Star Wars, so how can you not be excited to talk Star Wars?
Hell yeah. Then Justin, Nemesis Prime, how's it going, buddy?
What's up, everybody? So I have a really cool thing to show off, and I know this item that I'm going to show you is older than Noah. I don't know about you two guys. What year were you guys born?
92.
1875.
No. All right. So this is from 1996. It still works. I don't have a coin to show you, but I can press the button.
I think I have that bank. I love that. That's one of my. That's so cool that you picked that up.
That is awesome.
Oh my god, I love it.
And the lightsaber goes up too, doesn't it? Yeah.
That is awesome.
Oh my god. I freaking love it.
Hell yeah.
So this thing is older than Noah and still works.
Mine doesn't work anymore. I used to have that in my room, and randomly the cat would step on it and hit the button, and it would wake us up in the middle of the night, and it would scare the shit out of me.
That was like the Furby I had in 96.
That
That's
thing's awesome. Nice pickup. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And last but certainly not least, Noah, how's it going, buddy?
It's going great. Happy to be on the channel again and ready to talk some Star Wars for sure. Yeah, I'm excited.
Before we go into the small little parameters and the how we got to this point, I'll highlight some people in the chat. John Ross, thanks for tuning in, my friend. You may be a little disappointed with the with the topic, but it's going to be a fun time. Thank you as always for tuning in. I know him. As always, thanks for tuning in. And look at this guy.
Oh, with the Star Trek. That son of a gun.
So as always, guys, with my live videos in the chat, comment, engage, put your rankings, let us know who got them right, who got it wrong, and why it's me when we see at the end. So before we go into the slideshow, we
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, look at them kyber crystals.
Nothing gets by you guys. I'm happy you caught that. So I've been wanting to do the point system with one of these ranking videos for the longest time, and this is something with a finite amount of videos. So there's really, this is one of the best opportunities to finally do that. So we did all 12 theatrically released Star Wars films, and we each had our top 12, and then where I went to my arch nemesis math, I compiled a master list with our number ones being 12 points and our number 12s being 1, films that accumulated the highest score that got the number 1 on the list. And we will be going from bottom to top. And I don't know
what a name.
And we're without any further ado, Chin knows a variable of this list, but not the list at all. So
I was told there were some ties.
There may be a tie or two.
Yeah, that's all I know.
So I can't wait to see everyone's reactions, and let's get this started. And number 12.
Wow. Really?
At least one thing was right.
How is this last?
So, I guess, do you guys want to go over, save it to the very end where we had things, or as we go along, say where we had it?
Well, I'll be honest, I didn't have this in 12.
I had it in 12.
I had it last too.
I mean, it's lower on my list, but it wasn't 12.
So I had this. Oh, sorry, terrible hosting right here. I should have had my list pulled up. Let's see, Star Wars rankings. Me, I had this at I had this at 10. For me, this is one of the classic movies. I'm sure you guys have had these movies when you're in the theater, you're having a good time, it's a good experience. You got your big tub of corn and enjoying it. You walk out, yeah, that was pretty cool. And then the more it festers and you think about it, like, what the hell was that? And it's like you're so amped because we'll get to another movie, the movie that preceded this one, and you're feeling good. You can't wait. They gave you a heck of a cliffhanger. This movie, what went wrong?
The bomb at the beginning was what went wrong.
You had Luke Skywalker in the Yoda role with Rey, and I personally didn't care for he's done with being a Jedi and being a hermit and thing. I thought that felt weird. Eventually we get more classic Luke, but it's just like what they take and with the main characters of this movie and where they go with them. I know they had the change in directors, but it was my number 10. I'll get to why my bottom 2 are where they are. But Chin, what are your thoughts on Rise of Sky, Last Jedi?
Surprisingly, this was also my number 10. But there was, let's be honest, a lot that worked with this movie, and there's a whole lot that didn't work with this movie. My biggest thing is that I liked a lot of what Rian Johnson, the director, was trying to convey and like the message he was trying to get across. My biggest overall issue is the execution. Also just full on for everybody here. Spoilers. You're gonna hear spoilers for all of these movies. So
really,
just you never know. But like for example, when Leia is like blown up and everybody knew at this time Carrie Fisher had passed away, and you're like, okay, wow, this is how it happens. She's out, but then she full on Mary Poppins her way back in, and it could have been done differently, in my opinion. It just, I don't know. There's a lot that I get what he was going for. The execution just wasn't there for me. And I like Rian Johnson as a filmmaker. I love a lot of his movies. But overall, this would be on the lower end of Star Wars for me personally. And I will say going forward, there's no bad Star Wars movie in my opinion. I love the overall arc. I'm one of those people. You can yell at me. I don't care. I love that universe, and I love things that add to it. I knew when Disney bought Star Wars and they announced they were going to be doing a bunch of stuff, I was like, that's fine. We're getting new Star Wars, and that's great. Is it all going to be fantastic? No. So, you take the wins with the losses when you can. But yeah, this was my number 10. So.
No.
Yeah, so this was my number 12. This was last place for me. It's kind of like Mike was saying, one of those things where as you watch it and then you kind of stew with it after a little bit. And what I said earlier about the bombers in the beginning of the movie, whereas every single ship in this universe is so freaking fast, mostly, besides the huge ones. Why are these bombers going so slow in the beginning for them all to get taken out? It makes no sense, at least to me. But then also going off to what Chinmo was saying, just the execution I don't think was there, especially because they went from Force Awakens, J.J. Abrams, then to Rian Johnson, then back to J.J. Abrams for Rise of Skywalker. Rian Johnson's just tried to go in a different direction with it. And as far as in the trilogy as a whole, I think it just kind of was just in a weird spot. Like the thing with the Knights of Ren, how they just weren't even in this movie whatsoever. And then, yeah, the thing with Luke Skywalker, like him kind of backtracking of like not even wanting to be a Jedi anymore. It was just weird. So yeah, there's just, I could keep going. I honestly really don't like this trilogies, but yeah, I'm gonna hold my tongue until we get to the other ones.
Justin?
Everything that Noah said, I agree with. And that's where I'm going to stay because it was also my number 12.
That's another thing you'll see. There were kind of already spoiled it in a way, but two of us had very similar lists and the other two had very similar lists, which was fun going through this. And so it's that was a fun variable to this as well. And yeah, it's and I still think all the actors involved did well, but just
it's not the actors' fault. I don't blame it on the actors. It's I think just direction and
there was a disconnect with story overall.
Yeah.
And it was I liked a lot of what was trying to be said and conveyed. It was just poorly executed. That's the biggest issue.
There's a lot of cool parts, of course. There's always cool
there
parts to a movie.
Yeah.
But overall, it just didn't work for me.
Yeah. Well, like Chinmo said, there's not a bad Star Wars movie. It's just you have to place them somewhere. And
Yeah.
we all went through this list probably multiple times, Chinmo and myself,
Oh
a
yeah.
lot. But it's like, where do you know, like, what is the next movie? You know, do you move it somewhere else? And and Mike, you do all these lists all the times, and I've been on a few of them. It's you have to put it somewhere, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could
Not
ask me
saying
the
it's
same
worse,
question next week, and I probably have a slightly. A lot of them are going to probably be the same, but some of the stuff might shift around.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
how it is.
Yeah, when I was going through over this, putting it together, it's like there were different clusters and stuck between those 3 or 4 films in that cluster. Like, where do I move that? But that being said, let's move on to number 11, and a lot of us kind of talked about it in the next one. Chin, why don't you start us off with this one?
I will say this was not my number 11. I forget where I put this at my number 9. So like definitely on the lower end. I did enjoy it more than Last Jedi.
I think it's me and Justin that have the similar list from.
That's oh, absolutely, without question, it is. Yeah, but no, I mean, I out of the newer trilogy, this one would be the middle of the pack for me.
Interesting.
Again, a lot I liked. I know there seemed to be a lot of kind of course correcting, if you will, from the last movie to try to make everything fit. And I understand you kind of have to work with, Carrie Fisher passing away and with that. And there was a lot that this movie had to do. And I think for what it is, it does a decently good job of doing what it can. A lot of fun parts, a lot of parts that are like, didn't really need that. But, but I enjoy it for the most part. Like out of the 3, it's number 2 in the trilogy.
No.
Somehow Palpatine has returned,
He's always got a plan, bro.
and I don't understand. I don't know. I feel like, again, like Chinmo, exactly what you're saying, and kind of what I was saying before, like the kind of disconnect from the second movie in the trilogy to the next one. It just kind of, again, it was just kind of thrown off a little bit. Yeah, but it was cool seeing the Knights of Ren, back, finally seeing them in action. That was cool. The end scene with all of the ships coming in, that part was awesome. Like I enjoyed that. But the whole Palpatine thing, like, I don't know. I feel like he wasn't even like teased. It was almost like he was just thrown in the last movie. Like, and then they connected Snoke into him being like a pawn or whatever. But again, yeah.
I think the Palpatine would have played more if there was a little bit of it, like hints in Last Jedi. It would have played a lot better.
I was so in on Snoke too. Like, I thought when we first saw him, the hologram was actually his actual size in Force Awakens. So like, that's cool. This new big bad is a big bad.
Yeah.
But the score, we'll talk more about Force Awakens later, but and then in the second movie, the throne room scene's pretty bad. I forgot to mention that. Yeah. Pretty badass, I was going to say. So I did enjoy that, but tying the Emperor into it, this is one of those movies.
Weird. And then the whole the Rey and Kylo Ren love relationship towards the end there.
You didn't like that kiss?
I don't know. It felt kind of weird. There was the cool scene though when they kind of transferred the lightsaber from Rey to Kylo, and then he was fighting the Knights of Ren. That was cool. Like, again, there's a lot of cool parts to these movies, but it's like an overall plot thing for me. Yeah. So, and then it's a lot of that, honestly. But
Justin,
I'm afraid to ask what Shinmo's 12 and 11 are, but I mean, we're gonna get them. We're all gonna get them, yes. But we're talking about Rise of Skywalker. This one I think I had 12, 11. I had this at 10.
Oh yeah, sorry, this was 11 for me.
Yeah, I mean, it works. It works a little bit. It's the best one of the sequel trilogy, but overall, I mean, you figured 3 movies in, Rey should have been a better lightsaber battles, right? Compared to what we've gotten in the past with the prequels and the original trilogy. And
oh yeah, the lightsaber dueling on all.
Like, let's be real. Like, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of. I mean, even where we're at in other shows, right? Like the Acolyte and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it's same thing. Like whatever Chinmo and Noah and Mike said about it, it's the bottom of the pack, and I'm sure we all know what's going to be coming up next. Hopefully.
I would assume
I would assume.
I know what number 10 is, but now I
Yeah.
don't know. I would hope I know what it is.
So this was also my 11th. This funny quick story. Recently, I was at the gym on the elliptical, and they have obviously TVs are just random stuff on, and they had TNT on, and this movie was on. But at the moment, I'm like, what Star Wars movie is this? I did not remember like a half hour of this movie completely. I'm like,
Mhm.
I was awake. I remember going to the theater, sitting through and also liking at the time. You got Billy D back, and you guys mentioned the highlights, the few highlights in it. But when you go when it was on randomly, I'm like, I don't remember this in this movie. So it's like I had to put that at my 11th. Yeah, Chin mentioned to see what our number 10 is, and Noah will talk about it.
Okay.
I hear.
Wow.
Wait,
Damn.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay, it's
All
fine. It's
Noah, it's all you, buddy. You can start this.
Oh, it's me. Oh, okay.
I'll start with
So,
the people who had it the highest.
so I had this at number 8, and the reason I put this, I put it on the lower side because it wasn't like one of the best movies, but I think it was just significant to everything, especially introducing Ahsoka, like
That's fair.
such a pivotal point for the Clone Wars and just going forward and Star Wars in general. There are some other things in there that are like, nah, but I enjoyed it. I still enjoy every time I introduce someone to the Clone Wars TV show. I always make them watch this first, pretty much. But yeah, I definitely had to put this above the sequels, at least.
Where did you have this again? I'm sorry.
I had this at number 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where did you have it, Justin?
Again, this is it moved a lot. I had it at 5.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
I had it higher just because I remember this in the theaters, and it really was at a time where, we didn't have anything, and it was cool. New characters, lightsaber battles were great.
Oh, yeah.
Story changes. For me, it was just, like you said, Noah, it's a pivotal point. It's the Clone Wars. It's something that we never really got to see. For the we get to see the beginning of the Clone Wars in episode 2, and then the end of the Clone Wars in episode 3. At least here, we're getting a little bit more. You're seeing
Right.
people fight on different planets. You're seeing more of the clones.
Yes.
Like, this is an important part, and especially an important thing for. I think if this didn't come out, I don't think Disney really would have pushed to buy Star Wars.
That's a good
Yeah.
point.
That's fair.
This is
Yeah.
also the first Rex, right? And it's also the first
is.
Asajj Ventress, too.
No, she was in the
Oh, yeah,
other
she was in the
cartoon.
previous
Like
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The-
Yeah.
Cartoon Network one.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Right.
Tender Cosby. I can never say the
I
guy's
actually
name.
still haven't watched that one, surprisingly.
It's great.
Yeah,
Got the
I know. I
Samurai
need
Jack.
to. I need to
It's great.
watch that one.
I have a question. So I remember my dad coming home like, "Oh, the guys at work talked about the Star Wars cartoon, and it's a webisode." Did it start out as an internet web show and then Cartoon Network, or were they on at the same time?
No, they were on Cartoon Network. They're only like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
They're
Yep.
shorts, and then
Mhm.
they were put online like right at the same time, like right after. And I think there's 2 volumes of it. And
Yeah, it's on
they're
Disney Plus. You could watch it
Yeah.
straight through. It's like an hour and 15.
Yeah,
for
it's quick,
each. Yeah.
but they're awesome.
So for me, and as like when we did our favorite secondary Star Wars characters video, I had said that I'm still not the best caught up with all the animated Star Wars things. That's one of my holes in my Star Wars fandom. So this was a couple years ago, and like I think it was right after like Mandalorian came out. It's like, I need to watch some of these things. So I saw that this movie came out first. So I assumed this is what to watch first. And why this is my 12th is because I still haven't finished it. I'm probably like 75% through. But that's why I had to put it 12, and it's to no fault of it, of its own. Like you guys said, lightsaber fights are great. The clones are great. First Ahsoka. You got baby Jabba, which people forget about,
Stinky, baby. Stinky.
Yeah.
which is adorable. I'm
He's,
surprised that
he's coming back live action.
with is
Yeah, yes, he is.
it Chalamet who's voicing him?
No, it's Jeremy
Allen
Allen White.
I always get them confused.
Yeah.
Um, But yeah, so unfortunately, that's where it is because I did remember watching the web cartoons of Clone Wars, and and I still haven't filled in those gaps in my Star Wars watching. But that's why I had to put it at number 12.
And something that's I think is great about this movie and as well as this show too is that everyone underestimates because it's animated.
Oh,
and when I
very much.
actually get people to watch it, you got clones dying left and right, and then especially in the show, like people getting assassinated and killed. It's like, no, this is some serious stuff going on here. Like
They
this
get
doesn't
dark.
matter that it's animated.
Mhm.
They get very
Yeah,
dark.
yeah.
I also put this at 12. And I love the Clone Wars. If this was the Clone Wars as a whole, it'd be close to number 1. But
Yeah.
I remember seeing this in August of 2008 when it came out. Me and my 3 buddies went to the theater, and I remember at the very end of it, one of my buddies, he pulled a full fanboys moment, and he's like, well, that sucked. And I remember being like, I didn't hate it as much as he did, but I was like, I remember at the time, I was like, how does Anakin have a Padawan that we don't know about? Like, a lot of it didn't kind of make sense. And it is very much, this movie is very much a kid Star Wars movie, which is great because that's what it should be. And I remember watching it, but what it expands into, but if I'm taking just this alone, will I watch it anytime it's on? Absolutely. Will I watch it going through the Clone Wars? Absolutely. But just it's at the bottom as a standalone for me. But I love it still because you get introduced to these amazing characters that evolve into some of the best in Star Wars. But yeah, it'd be my number 12 if we were ranking the theatrical releases. So yeah, sorry.
Anything else to add before we move on?
Nope.
I love it. I love it. I still love this movie. Yeah.
So to quote Spider-Man from the 90s anime show, I really hate clones, keeping up with the clones. The
You went with
Attack
the
of the Clones.
Japanese poster. huh?
So Google, this was the best clear picture on Google that I could find in the 2 seconds I spent looking for the best picture. And it popped the best. And then I'm just realizing that it's not the American version.
That's
but
okay.
It's all good. It's all great. Justin, what are your thoughts and placement for Attack of the Clones?
I had this at number 7. It's, middle of the pack of everything. It's, again, same thing. It's a pivotal moment for Anakin, for all the characters, Obi-Wan. It's the beginning of the Clone Wars. It's, it's something that, we've heard about in episode 4, and you're always like, what is the Clone Wars? And this was that moment that you're like, holy crap, we're getting this finally after so many years of Obi-Wan saying that he fought with Luke's father, and you're just like, yes, like we're finally getting this. A lot of scenes. There's a lot of great scenes. Obviously, the opening scene with like Padme's stunt double dying, and then just like the Obi-Wan chase.
Keira Knightley.
Yeah. There's just like a lot of cool stuff. Like realistically, we finally get to see Coruscant on like a real, like we get to see more stuff other than the Jedi Temple, because in episode 1 we really don't see it. It's just the Jedi Temple, and we hear of Coruscant, but you actually get to see different things that are in this big city, and you actually get to see the city for the first time realistically.
Yeah, there's so much good in this movie. It's unfortunately it's my number 9. I'll get to why it's that low. The Anakin and Padme stuff, as important as it is for the whole story of, especially the backstory of Darth Vader, it is a tough watch through still, but it's a shame because there's, like Justin said, like the Camino stuff is great. We get, the Fett's, the young Boba Fett, his father, learning about the clones. You get great performances, once again. My thing with the prequels are, we'll talk more about them, but just a lot of great castings too. Phenomenal. You got Count Dooku, played by the great Christopher Lee, who's phenomenal. It was cool seeing Obi-Wan and Anakin's, more now that they're both grown up. Loved their dynamic together. Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen were great. The whole last battle, the last act's just great. the Yoda fighting, and it's just great. But for me, unfortunately, and this was like in that one of those clusters for me, because of sand, I put it so low.
I've never agreed with a person more in my life than Anakin Skywalker's take on sand. I fucking hate it. It's so true. I hate going to the beach because of that reason. I actually put this as my lowest ranked live action. I put this at my 11. I love it. It's a fun movie. Like, the arena is great. The kind of what Justin was saying, the world building and the opening up to all these amazing planets and stuff. And you kind of do dive deeper into the kind of pathos of the characters. You know, Obi-Wan's in full like master mode now. Anakin's a full-fledged hormonal teenager. And then you get a lot more background with the Jedi itself, like the Jedi Order. Dooku used to be a Jedi, now he's bad. Like, oh, is that how like Vader becomes that? Like, you have to start as a Jedi kind of thing, and it dives more deeper into that. You get some awesome fights. Boba Fett is one of my all-time favorites, so it's like cool getting an origin for him. Django is awesome. And you really get to see Mace Windu kind of kick some ass in this. Sam Jackson as one of his finest. And I enjoy it quite a bit. It's just, as you know, you got to put him somewhere. And when I think about all the other movies, it's not the first one I'm putting on, if that makes sense. But I love it.
No.
Also, you're going to hear me say that a lot. I love it.
You love it for number 11.
Yeah, that's crazy. Put on number 11. So for me, I put this at my number 6. And the reason I put it decently high is this is going to age me, but this is the first ever Star Wars movie I ever fully remember, like, retaining in memory watching as a kid.
Well, I mean, none of us were old enough to see the other ones in theaters, so you're not aging yourself too much.
Well, yeah, but like even like the original trilogy, I don't even remember watching before this one. Like, I remember exactly where I was when I watched this, and like about how old I was. And I remember everything about watching this for the first time. What mostly stuck out to me as a kid was at the end of the Coliseum with the different creatures, and then you have all the Jedi coming in at the end. As a kid, I just fell in love with that, and that's so cool. Really, this is what kind of delved me down that rabbit hole of Star Wars. Granted, yes, it's maybe not the best out of all of the movies. Like Mike was saying, like, yeah, maybe the stuff between Anakin and Padme is a little rough, but overall, though, I absolutely love this movie as a whole, especially, again, like we were saying, Kamino with Jango Fett and Obi-Wan and Geonosia too, like all of that with the creatures, and Count Dooku, especially the whole fight at the end, and with Yoda too. There's like so much with this movie.
The Gentleman Sith, as I like to call him.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, no, so that's why I have it kind of high on my list.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So
I'm so curious to see where the rest of these go now.
Yeah.
Other than what I think would be 1 and 2, I have no idea what's about to happen.
I don't know, man. I'm afraid for you.
Well, this is where it gets really fun.
Oh, 3-way tie.
Oh my God.
3-way tie, baby, for
Shit.
6.
Wow.
Damn.
So,
Okay. Great choice for episode 1 poster, by the way.
That's my favorite poster, like one of my all-time favorite movie posters. I remember seeing that as a kid in the mall, like before I knew they were making the prequels. So like, I can't wait. That's awesome. I'll start by talking about. We'll go with the flow with this slide. So with Phantom Menace, I had that at my number 7. What really puts this ahead of Attack of the Clones, which was a tough inner debate I had. Once again, I mentioned the casting for the prequels. You have Liam Neeson's incredible performance as Qui-Gon Jinn with Ewan McGregor. Their chemistry was phenomenal. And as a kid, this was the first Star Wars movie not included in the 90 re-release of the original that I saw in theaters. And the whole Trade Federation stuff, I didn't get it, but at the same time, it's like, this is so cool. There's 2 of them. Like, you could quote. Like,
I still couldn't tell you the whole trade embargo thing.
Yeah.
I don't get real life politics. I almost kind of get Star Wars politics.
So their stuff is great, and then another thing that puts it ahead is the pod racing scene. Alone, you know, they've made several video games, you know, including Game Boy's games for pod racing.
Hell yeah.
And then one similar to the Attack of the Clones, the third act, you get the classic Star Wars, you know, battle air fight. You have the Gungans versus the droids, just entertaining because like you get these shields popping up and these energy ball cannons, which you guys probably know exactly what they're called. And so that was awesome. And then you get the Duel of the Fates. You get Darth Maul. We're finally seeing another bad guy other than Darth Vader. And like, I remember getting my Darth Maul action figure and playing with the Darth Vader action figure. You know, I remember doing that like 2 weeks ago. So that was so fun. And, but yeah, the toys, those for the prequels are great. But yeah, Phantom Menace, those are what I thought there was slightly more that put it ahead of Attack Clones with those things. So do you guys just want to go in order of the slides and then we'll, you know, order of like we each do Phantom Menace, Force Awakens, Solo?
I was just going to pick my best one. I mean,
Sure.
I'll just kind of, I'll tell you where I had my placement. So I had Force Awakens, I had at 11. Episode 1, I had at 9. And Solo, I had at 8. So I'll talk about Solo. Solo's a great movie. It just gets a bad rap because it just came out right before Avengers Endgame. Or no, Avengers...
Infinity War, right?
Infinity War.
Yeah.
So all the marketing really went to Infinity War. Nobody really marketed this movie well. So that's why
they should have never moved it to May. They should have kept it in December.
That's
Yeah,
right. Exactly. Yeah. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I mean, but overall, like this is, you know, other than Rogue One, right? This is another movie that doesn't involve any type of Jedi. Yes, they're legacy characters. We get to see kind of their comeuppance. But overall, it's great because it's what we have never seen. We've never seen this whole scoundrel side, the whole underbelly of, you know, the Star Wars universe. It's something different. And, you know, all the characters, all the actresses are great. It expands some lore. It added some stuff that we hadn't seen in a while and stuff that then reverberated further, right, into, you know, like what we've seen in the Clone Wars animated. So Star Wars comics these days and Marvel. So there's a lot of stuff that came out of this movie that people just don't realize.
Well said.
For me, going to this list when I started planning this about 2 weeks ago, I had not seen it because of that time. It was right around the Avengers coming out, and I was still like, do we really need this? And I'm hearing the mixed reviews, and I'm like, I regret not seeing it when it came out because I had a blast with this one. So I thought it was fun. And I'm a big Woody Harrelson fan. He was great. And then, and also what stuck out was, Glover's Lando was great. So Solo, yeah, I thought I had a really fun time with that just watching it for the first time.
Hey, let's do a Star Wars list, but I haven't seen all of them yet.
I'm not going to let one movie not let me do a list. And I was like,
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I'll chime in here. So I had Solo at number 8 as well. I love it. It's a lot of fun. This is a fun Star Wars movie with characters I enjoy. It gives them a pretty fun origin story for the most part for everybody. Cool new characters. And it's a fun. This is a fun movie that I enjoy with characters from a franchise I love, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I loved it. I had Phantom Menace at 7. I love the Phantom Menace. If it wasn't for Phantom Menace, I wouldn't love Star Wars. I saw this movie when I was 9 years old in the theaters. I loved it. I remember getting a ferret the next day and named him Anakin. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. Darth Maul scared the shit out of me as a kid. Still kind of does, but he's my favorite Sith. Duel of the Fates is chef's kiss of a duel, especially with the music. And I absolutely love it. This is where I'm going to probably differ from a lot of you guys, but Force Awakens for me was number 3. I actually really enjoy Force Awakens quite a bit. I remember seeing it in theaters that Thursday night when it came out, a bunch of buddies, and it was just, it's something new. You have the legacy characters put into it with brand new characters. I thought the direction was very well done. I enjoyed it because it opened up like, okay, here we go. You know, I thought the baton was kind of passed off pretty high. Did it stay that way? Not exactly, but I highly enjoyed and still enjoy this movie quite a bit. So yeah.
Wow. Hot take.
Justin's face is saying
Sure.
it right now.
Wow.
That got my family
I'm-
back to going to the theaters. My last thing was, Force Awakens. Like, I was seeing movies with my friends and stuff, and my family wasn't going out to the movies. And it's like, ever since then, we all started going to see the Marvel movies together and other movies together. So, Force Awakens, yeah, I won't echo. It's pretty much I agree with everything Chin said. That was my number 5 too. So I was the second highest, with Phantom being my 7 and Solo being my 8. So I had them kind of in this little cluster too. But yeah, Justin, no, anything else you'd like to talk about these three?
Yeah, so for episode 1, I had that at 7, right below Attack of the Clones.
I think that's the one we've all had, like 7.
Yeah.
Solo and Phantom Menace we've all had like right there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
pretty much. And the more we talk about Phantom Menace, like, I think it is a better movie than Attack of the Clones, in my opinion. But again, just Attack of the Clones being like that first introduction for me. That's why I put it like that one step higher. But yeah, Duel of the Fates, Darth Maul, Qui-Gon Jinn, all that stuff. Absolutely great. Force Awakens, I had number 10. It was the best out of the sequels, in my opinion. Very nostalgic because it was like we haven't had anything new for Star Wars in so long. So it was cool going back, or not back to the movies. It was cool going to the movie theaters and seeing a Star Wars movie. And yeah, there was a lot of nostalgia in it. What hits me the most with that movie, though, is Han Solo's character arc. Like, I feel like not for the fact that he died, I'm okay with that, I guess. But
Harrison Ford's been trying since '83 to get his character killed. So
that's true. That is true.
Yeah, Indiana Jones, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like personally, his character kind of backtracked from the original trilogy. Like I feel like he had more of a heroic like upbringing, going from scoundrel to war hero in the original trilogy, and then he kind of just backtracked in the next movie. I don't know. I feel like I wanted to see him maybe in a different spot other than going back to being a scoundrel and a runner. I don't know. I feel like that kind of just was a little off for me. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of my biggest gripe with this movie. Kind of same along the lines with like Luke Skywalker's character, like how he kind of went backwards almost. Like, I don't know, I felt off. And then Solo, I had at number 9. I put him above the sequels, but the reason I had it lower than a lot of the movies was just because I feel like I didn't retain as much from this movie. But I think after talking, I need to go back and watch it for sure, because now that we're talking about it, like, yeah, Donald Glover's character was really good. Him being in like an Imperial foot soldier, I remember I was like, yeah, I liked that. So there was a lot of stuff I do remember, but I don't know. I feel like it just wasn't as memorable for me personally, but I've seen it maybe twice, so maybe that's why. But yeah, that's where they all rank for me.
fair criticisms across the board, guys.
Cool.
Wait, Justin, where did you have Force Awakens?
Oh, I talked about it. I had Force at 9, 8, 12, 11, 10, 9. Yeah.
9. Okay.
9. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Oh, crap. 1 second. Sorry. Moving on. Number 5.
Wow. Okay.
Chin.
Oh, me first? Okay. So I had this actually at my number 5. I lied. I had this at my number 6. Out of the original, I would, it's the least. I absolutely love it though, because in my opinion, this is kind of like 2 movies. You get the beginning with Jabba's palace, which is amazing and super fun and gritty. I love the Star Wars underworld. That's kind of my favorite part of Star Wars. And then the second half, you get the Vader. You get the Vader and Luke, the father-son kind of dynamic, like full force, good versus evil. The Empire is coming. This is kind of the end of it right here if we don't kill them, kind of thing. You get murder bears destroying people left and right. Like, I enjoy it quite a bit, just out of, again, you got to place them somewhere.
Yeah,
So,
I agree.
Yeah, for sure. For me, I had Return of the Jedi number 4. So for me, once I got after the Attack of the Clones, once I got into the original trilogy, this was my favorite movie actually. Granted, it's not higher than the other two, for certain reasons, but yeah, I loved the Ewoks in this movie. And yeah, again, kind of going right off of what Chinmo said, like the whole thing with Luke and Vader, with the end and the ending overall, the beginning with Jabba's palace, it was just a great movie. Definitely, again, it's in my top 5. So yeah, this was just, I love this movie, but again, it was one of those things you got to put it somewhere. So
it's tough. Yeah.
yeah, it was tough getting to the top half of this list for sure.
Same thing. I had it at number 4. You know, it's a great movie. You know, like you said, it's definitely 2 movies. So much is revealed, so much is you know, things that you want to happen, things that did happen. I mean, it's still like an epic space battle. Like you could watch it 100 times and you could find something new.
Mhm.
You know, there's just so much that's going on emotionally. So yeah, it was definitely tough to put somewhere, but you have to put these somewhere, right? So top 4
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, like Chin, it was number 6. As a kid, so funny, kind of what Noah was saying when they released those cool VHS, the 3-pack VHSs. They had the gold, you know,
The
Vader
THX,
head.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
sitting
was
right
the
over there.
yeah. I got.
this is the one.
Noah doesn't know what that is.
I do.
No,
I
no,
watched
a
VHS
Somebody
VHS
show him.
was like this big rectangle with like tape that you had to rewind and stuff. You know.
Listen, I watched VHSs growing up as a kid. Okay, not that young.
I put this. I had this playing constantly. I think because of what kept me at my interest as a kid. Because there was so much. You have the Jabba stuff, which as a kid, the whole palace scared me. Being trapped to the Rancor pit, and then
Yeah.
the Sarlacc pit, but then you go into the Ewoks to get Yoda. You have a great touching moment between Luke and Yoda. Then you get the big reveal. You know, kind of with Obi-Wan and Luke talking about Leia. And then yeah, just all the, like Chin said, all the Vader stuff is great. The space battle's awesome. And I love it's just a feel good moment when they're all celebrating the score playing and stuff.
Little yub nub. Yeah.
Also,
Banging on the stormtroopers' heads like a drum.
Yeah.
The helmets.
You got Max Rebo and Jabba's Palace just playing his keyboard. So there's a lot of fun stuff in this one.
Now, can I ask you guys a question?
I already know where this is going, and I love it.
Do you? I
Yeah,
don't
is
know
it-
if you do?
Is it special edition band? Is that what you're gonna say?
No.
Oh, okay, never mind.
This is more of a theory question on if you guys believe it or
Oh.
not. Do you think that Captain Rex was the old guy with the white beard at the Battle of Endor?
It's confirmed that he
Confirmed,
is.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was fully confirmed. Okay.
It was retconned to be him. Yeah.
I haven't watched this in a minute. Who?
There's on the Battle of Endor when they're like going into the bunker. One of the rebel troopers is like an older guy with a big white beard, similar to the way Rex looks in Rebels. And everybody's like, "Oh, no way!" And then at the very end of Rebels, they confirm it is him. They retcon it.
Interesting. Fun.
Yeah.
Oh, that was at the end of Rebels. Oh, you're so right.
Yeah.
Wow. I got to rewatch Rebels then.
So to answer your theory, yes, I do think it was him.
Okay. All right.
Chin, what were you gonna say about the red band or the? What did
Oh,
you think
I
it
thought
was?
Noah was going to ask our opinion on the the updated special editions with the extended Max Rebo band song or not. Yeah, it
Actually,
gets
I don't even know
quite
if
the
I know about
performance.
that.
Quite the performance. If you look at the original, the Max Rebo band, they're playing and stuff, but there's not a big musical number.
Well, yeah, because
Yeah.
there was no CGI. There's
Yeah,
a lot of that.
Right.
Again, this dates me. I mean, I saw all 3 of those in theaters, and not as like a little kid. Like I was in my young teens when they all came out.
the special editions.
So yeah, the special editions when they came out in theaters.
That's when I
So
first saw him.
yeah, so like that was just cool because again, like we like we said, the THXs. I had the square box silver one I had the THS first. I remember I got that for Christmas, and that was the first time I ever watched it. My mom got it for me, and then literally the next year is like when Star Wars came back out, and I remember the first two my mom and I saw, and then I went with my friends for Return of the Jedi, and they gave out a figure at the Fandango movie theaters, which I still have. It's
Hell yeah,
the Jedi Knight Luke, which is
nice.
ridiculous.
That's the best version of Luke. That's my favorite version of Luke.
Oh,
yeah.
That outfit
Black
with that
for the first
Yeah.
time.
saber. That's my
Mhm.
favorite saber. I love it.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, now that we're talking about it, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about because I think that's the only way I've seen it was at the extended like musical number.
Yeah, there's none of that in the original.
Well, yeah, I assume so. I don't think I've actually seen the original though.
It's
But-
that, just no musical number. Same
Right.
scene.
But we got it. Come on, the musical number, it hits.
It's grown on me over the years.
Yeah,
because of how
yeah.
ridiculous it is.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
You know you're bobbing your head to it when you're listening to it.
Monkey help.
The Star Wars
Wanna
themes
dance
and
with the
music in
dancing.
general is across the board. John Williams, Michael Giacchino. There's the Kiner brothers. They're incredible. Absolutely
Absolutely.
incredible.
Cool. So let's go on to number 4. Noah can start us off.
Okay. So Rogue One, I had number 5 actually. I did put this lower because it's hard to, I feel like in my opinion, it's hard to beat the original trilogy. And also another one that we haven't talked about yet, but Rogue One is such a great movie. Again, it's top 5 for me for sure. Just overall production and, you know, the story and the plot and actually learning about the rebels that found the plans to the Death Star. It was just really cool, and I loved every moment of it. It's just a great movie. Honestly, I don't think I have a negative thing about it, to be completely honest.
Chin. Oh no, I gotta go last on this.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
I gotta see where Chin put this.
I put this right at number 4. This was my number 4.
Okay.
It is
Okay.
right up there with like one of the best things I think Disney's done with Star Wars. Every single character I absolutely love. Like Noah said, it's awesome to get that backstory. It's like, hey, let's take this little piece of like a line from episode 4 and give it a whole story with these characters that we've never met before and we like cherish by the end of the
Mhm.
movie. It's super well done, super well acted. I know there was a bunch of back and forth with like re-edits and directors and stuff
Yep.
like that, but overall it came out great. To where I'm happy now we see a lot of these characters in other Star Wars projects, where Andor, which is watching new episodes right after we're done with this, and you see these other characters like pop up in other places throughout the Star Wars canon, like Saw, and the fact that Saw Gerrera started in Clone Wars and they brought him live action, it, you know, just,
Yeah.
but yeah, I absolutely love this movie. It's phenomenal.
So this is my 3rd. I think just 'cause of the surprise factor, because going into it, it's, you know, we know what happens to them. Are we really gonna care? And just like you guys all said in ways, or Noah and Chin so far, you just get so invested with these characters, and even though you know what's gonna happen, you're like, you don't want to see it, but it's just K2 is my favorite droid, and I remember the trailers had some of the best, you know, we would see in, you know, and some we wouldn't, but just some of the best shots of the Star Destroyer coming in, you know, out of the darkness. There's the scene that didn't make it, but it's where she runs up and the TIE fighter's right there. Didn't make it,
Mhm.
but really allegedly doesn't turn anything. But that's the trailer, but I thought that was cool. Going in the like finals, no, was I already out of school? It was going to the finals, going to a tough work day. I'd always say to myself, I'm one with the force is with me. Just like, you know, get me through the day and stuff. So yeah, just a great ragtag. You know, this is like, you know, if you told me James Gunn directed this movie, I would have believed it, because it's a movie like that's right up his alley with just that ragtag bunch of people. And I gotta say it, especially being a big horror fan, maybe my favorite scene in all of Star Wars, the Darth Vader scene.
Oh, 100%.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's
that
some of the best Darth Vader we've seen.
that tag at
Yeah.
the end there, it's just like, okay, this is what I want from Vader.
And I wasn't expecting much. I thought, oh, trailer gave us a spoiler of Vader in it, and then not all of it. And that scene, I get chills thinking about that scene.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's how I want a Darth Vader show to look like.
God, oh my God. We'll talk about that after. But yeah, I agree.
All right.
So I had this, I had this at my high, I had the highest of everybody on this. I had this at number 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is just, it is one of my favorite movies, in general. Rogue One, I could watch at any time, any spot. Just, you know, it was tough not to pick, and definitely in the top 3, or you're, a non-sequel or non-trilogy movie. But I mean, Rogue One came out and it was just like such a different thing, right? Again, this is the same thing. Like, goes back to what I said earlier. It's a movie about no Jedi. There's not one Jedi. All we know is the Kyber crystals. There's nothing. They don't even really mention the Jedi that much. It's just, it's a hearsay thing. The fact that it literally leads off right into A New Hope. The Vader stuff is great. I love all the characters, from Jin to K2. Alan Tudyk can do no wrong as
Oh my
as a
God.
as a voice actor.
He's
just
full.
great.
He's full motion capture in that. He's on
Yeah,
stilts and everything. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wow, I
And I
didn't know
just saw
that.
the
That's pretty
thing.
cool.
I just saw the behind the scenes that like he improvised the one line where he hits Diego.
Yeah.
He says, "Don't talk back to me," and like Diego actually has to he kind of like laughs and he has to like cover his face, and they actually left all that in. So
Yeah. You can see it.
I
Like
just
he's
I
got
literally just
going in
I
the.
just found out about that this week. So I mean, Rogue One's just awesome. It's a
It is.
militaristic movie. It's like when you play anything for like from video games, if you play like the Battlefront series or like anything that's Empire at War, like it's no Jedi. This is what you get. You get the Empire and you get the Rebellion and nothing about Jedi or Sith at all. So
Yep.
I
I mean,
love
you
Rogue One.
get like talks of it, but you don't see. You're not
Mhm.
seeing lightsaber battles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. This is, I will say, just as a point in general, Star Wars keeps doing it. You see the original trilogy, like, man, R2 is the best. You can't beat him. BB-8 comes along. He's pretty adorable. It's pretty cute, but they keep upping it with these droids.
Yeah.
You get Chopper up there. You get K2. They're just killing it with droids. They're making droids too damn lovable, and it's great. I love it.
You bring that up, and I forgot. I just remembered quickly. Probably one of the most at least I remember that when the movie came out, and now still talking with people. What are your thoughts on the droid in Solo? Because that's probably one of the most controversial droids, just on likability.
L3.
Yeah,
Cool.
Oh,
Good.
yeah.
I like her. I
I
like
like
the
her.
actress too.
Waller Bridge, right?
I thought she was cool.
She's cool.
She's like
Yeah,
that
like-
kind of eccentric. You can tell she's been rewired a couple times, similar to K2 kind of thing. Right? It works. It works for the movie.
Yeah. What kind of droid was that? Was that like it wasn't an Imperial droid before, was it?
K2, yeah.
No, not I know
No,
K2 was.
L3.
I'm saying L3.
Oh,
L3.
L3. No,
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Cool. Well,
That's the thing, they keep coming up with these new droids, and I'm like, it works. I've never seen it before, but
Yeah.
it works.
yeah. And it finally gives us the answer. Why is there that one weakness in the Death Star? So now that's no longer a joke.
Yes.
And it
It
gives a
makes it all
great
make
reason
sense.
why.
Yes.
It is.
Justin, why don't you go into this fun little tie?
All right.
Oh.
Damn.
Jesus. At number 2. Well, we all know what number 1 is. So I had episode 4 at actually 6.
Wow.
Pretty high.
Damn.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And I mean, again, episode 3, I actually had it number 1. Only
Wow.
probably because I just saw it last week in theaters again. Like everybody else.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's fair enough. Episode 3 is the movie that I watch, and I still, as I'm watching it, I'm like, maybe something else will change. Like,
you have that hope it's not going to go bad.
yeah, like
Yes.
maybe Anakin
Yes.
won't like cut Mace's arm off, and they'll actually bring him to trial. Like maybe that'll happen, and I'm like watching it. I'm like, well, maybe Obi-Wan will not fall, and or he'll do. There's just like certain points in the movie where I'm watching this in the theaters last week. I'm like, well, maybe it'll change, like a special edition. No, but I love episode 3. It is the pinnacle of Star Wars lightsaber battles. It is
Battle
the
Heroes.
it is literally the end of the Clone Wars. It is the greatest opening scene in any movie. I posted it on my reels last week. I don't care.
Saw that.
You know,
It's where the fun begins, you know?
yeah. I mean, just seeing that in theaters again for the first time in 20 years when
great.
the ships just dive down and you see the Coruscant, you see all the ships. Just, I can remember seeing that in the theaters, and it was at this time is when they did midnight movies, and it was just everybody was like, holy, because you didn't know that this was coming, right? Like you didn't know. So still, it's just such a great movie. And after watching it again last week, I was so glad to actually sit in a theater and not. And actually, it was pretty funny. So I saw it on Friday, and then Saturday I went to the New Jersey Super Jersey Expo, and I saw somebody, and he's like, did you have people like running around with lightsabers and people like screaming every time they did like a fun, not like a big quote, right? Like
Yeah.
when like Obi-Wan's like, hello there, and everyone would be like, yeah. I had a
Woo!
perfect theater that everybody was just quiet until
Oh,
the end of the
that's
movie,
nice.
and it was clapping. I
awesome.
was like, that was great, because that's the way I want to watch that movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was my number one. It's great.
Well said.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been holding this comment till now. It's after seeing the sequels, it made me appreciate the prequels more. And this is like the culmination of that. It's just you mentioned the opening scene that the Emperor, he's like, guys, I heard that he's a Sith Lord. Oh, Sith Lords are our specialty. And then
Speciality.
Yeah,
That's such
a good
foreshadowing. There's a lot of foreshadowing in this movie.
There is.
for the
Yes.
future.
Yes.
do it. The beheading of Dooku, which was nuts. I didn't see that coming. And just the tragic. It's theater. It's it's the culmination of all that, and the really leads into Vader. So Revenge of the Sith was my fourth. New Hope is my number one. I'm a sucker for world building and intro. Like Fellowship of the Rings, my favorite Lord of the Rings movie. I know what comes after, are known to be better, but for me, my personal enjoyment, I love seeing these worlds start and being sucked into it the first time I saw it as a kid, and then just the world we're thrown into. You have, we can all relate to Luke to an extent in the beginning, and I'm a sucker for trainers and master and apprentice kind of stuff. So Obi-Wan's one of the best at that. You have Alec Guinness there, and it's just so much. I'll start quoting too much, so I don't want to go too much into that. But the characters that we are introduced to, one of the greatest films in film history, in Darth Vader in his first appearance on film, and so that's where I stand with those two. Jen.
So Revenge of the Sith for me was at my number 5. It's my favorite of the prequels. I love it. It was great seeing it in theaters again last week. I will rewatch a Star Wars in theaters any chance I get. Justin kind of hit it on the head with everything. So I mean, I completely agree. I love the movie. A New Hope, episode 4 was actually also my number 1. It is my favorite movie of all time. I love it. It is such a masterclass in filmmaking. The way it world builds without really even trying to, and just kind of making a cool sci-fi movie with effects, is astonishing. It's so cool. You're immediately thrown to this world with like the text coming up, and you're like, okay, you're giving me backstory. Like you're not going to show. Number one rule is show, don't tell. And it kind of throws you into it, and just the way. I mean, just at the very beginning with the Star Destroyer coming through, you're immediately thrown into this turmoil. You get the reluctant farm boys, like wants to be a hero. You get the reluctant like smuggler, the cool guy Han, an awesome like dog that's double your size that growls at you. I love this movie, everything it does, the aesthetic to it, like the cantina is so cool. Like it makes you want to hang out there, but at the same time, I'd be terrified.
Yeah.
You get. I mean, as much as it's not so much as like a big like duel, but like Obi-Wan and Vader fighting. You get him talk through the Force with the trench run at the end. Is he gonna make it? He turns off his targeting computer, but the Force is there. It's just I love it. I'll go on forever, so I'm going to stop.
Why don't you
That's how I
tell us
feel
the whole
too, is that
movie
I'll
there,
just keep
Ken?
talking
Yeah.
and talking
Yeah.
and talking.
Yeah, I will
Yeah.
stop. But it is my number one. It is my all-time favorite. But yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So I'll go with A New Hope first. I had that into my number 3. Obviously, I mean, it's hard to add anything else to what all these guys have already said, but just a master of a movie, just the start of pretty much it all. There's so much nostalgia and scenes from this movie that are just like, and John Williams too, with the music, just when with Luke looking out at the twin suns, and
Oh my god, that's one of my favorite shots.
I
in
know it's
cinema.
like one of the best scenes. And again, just the world building and everything with that is just phenomenal, and it's just like it's one of the best movies in cinema, like you guys were saying. Revenge of the Sith I also had at my number 1 spot, because this movie, I think it is still the only Star Wars movie that I get emotional with towards the end, with Order 66 and the fight between Anakin and Obi-Wan. Like,
Scores, yeah.
it's just insane. Again, the music and the tragedy of it all, and it's just like I get chills just thinking about it, and just thinking about their fight and everything. It's just so good.
It is such
yeah.
like I remember coming out of the theaters and seeing it the first time, and the group of people I was with, like no one talked. Everybody was just like
Yeah.
sullen and like
Yeah.
stuff. Like we knew it was coming, but it was like
Right, you know what's gonna happen, but
Oh.
it's just the way they did it, the
yeah,
way they
it
showed it.
kills you.
Him killing younglings, and I'm like, oh my god, it's insane. And
When are
I
we going to see
really, really wish I had the chance to go see in theaters again, but I
Same.
could not, unfortunately.
I think
I
it's still
completely-
playing. I think you got a couple
It is.
days.
But I
No,
guess
today was the last day for my local
Was it?
movie theater. Yep.
I can't help
So
you. Sorry.
unfortunately, I was not able to see it, so it's sad. But honestly, I can watch it whenever. But yeah, this is number 1 for me.
Have they put those on 4K yet?
They had to have.
Yeah,
I
no,
think so. Maybe.
no, just the Blu-ray.
No,
There's the
they
big
haven't?
box set. For
I got I love that box set. It's so cool.
yeah, it's so good.
Yeah. So you can all predict it. What number 1 is? I gotta say,
Jar Jar Binks solo movie.
I thought you were gonna do the holiday special.
the droids and Ewok tie for first, the animated ones. With Empire Strikes Back, Chin had it at number 2. I have it at number 2. Noah at number 2, and Justin at number 3. So that's, it's like I said, this is what people, what's the best Star Wars movie, at least out of the original trilogy. People always go to this one. I'm gonna, let you guys go on, talk so much more than me about this, but this is just the greatest line in film, one of the best greatest lines in film ever. That's misquoted too a lot, but
Yeah. This is one of the greatest plot twists in history,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Arguably the best.
Yes, yeah. It's the best. Let's stop right there. It's the best.
This, I will say, A New Hope is my favorite, but I do think Empire is the better film, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Agreed.
It is.
It's more
much-
significant. Well, not more significant, but again, just the plot twist.
Yeah, it's
with
it's much more darker. It ends on a very
Yes.
solemn note.
Yeah,
a
it's
solemn
no
note.
happy ending with this one.
But you get more world building. You get new characters with Lando. You get Luke. It opens with Luke almost dying from like a wampa. Like, it's so good and on a dark tone, but still lighthearted. Especially with Han and Leia, flirting away, and 3PO, being a cock block that he is. It's just, it's so well done and such a perfect. It's the perfect sequel, in my opinion, to any movie. And I just absolutely love it. It's great. That plot twist, yes, that is what really kind of like, holy, so especially if you don't know it's coming. Which if you don't, I don't know how, but but there are people out there. But yeah, honestly, if New Hope was number 1, I going in, I was like, Empire will be number 1 most likely, which it rightfully deserves to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I think it was between this and Revenge. I couldn't put Rogue One because I had Rogue One at 2, it definitely had to be a trilogy movie. But for the most part, like you said, Chin, everything from Empire is one of the great. It's one of the greatest cinematic movies. Um, it is definitely the best movie. It's not my favorite movie, but it's up there. There's not a bad Star Wars movie, as we said multiple times. So, but there's so much that happens like in these movies. I mean, you didn't even mention Yoda. I mean, you brought up new characters.
I know.
Yeah.
There's
want to leave stuff for everybody else.
yeah, and that's what it is there's things that are going on for each of these characters, and you can it's almost like watching Sin City, like the way the Sin City is done with multiple characters and multiple scenes, and they go back and forth. That's how this is. You have Luke dealing with what he's dealing with. You have Han and Leia, and then they're somewhere, and then everybody kind of gets back together, for, and then they leave again, right? Like it's just amazing to watch. I love the Hoth scene. I think as a gamer, like playing anytime I get to play on Hoth and like take down AT-ATs,
Oh, yeah.
It's just
so much fun.
Yeah.
Like Shadows of the
Arcade.
Empire. Like I love
Yeah.
that. The opening game, like it's great. So
damn fun.
Snow speeders are like my favorite, and AT-ATs are the best too. So I love Empire for that.
Yeah. No, this movie, it just has so many different settings, like just completely different from a swamp world to Hoth, which is all snow, and then you have Cloud City. Like it's just, again, just the world building with this is phenomenal. And then it was really awesome seeing Luke more advanced or learning as becoming a Jedi in this movie, not really learning as much from Obi-Wan because he wasn't around as much in the first movie to teach him a lot. But then you have, again, Yoda, who was able to teach him and everything. And again, it's just one of the best sequels and movies in cinematic history. It's phenomenal.
As far as Yoda goes, it's one of the best intros to a character ever because he's just goofy and silly.
Oh yeah.
And then that change, like, oh, he was just fucking messing with them the whole time. And it's incredible.
A mini plot twist. You're like, this guy's not Yoda. And
Oh my
Yeah.
god, it's so
Yeah.
good. It's such a good little
Yeah.
twist in like him just just hitting R2 with the stick. I love it.
Yes. Oh, and seeing the fight, Luke and Vader fight for the first time too. Great scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This deserves to be number one. That's very fair.
Obi-Wan was wise to hide you from me.
Mm.
And can't you do an impression of that character right in the center there? I know someone. If it's not you, I apologize.
Talking about a Tauntaun?
Yeah.
No. I could do a decent Yoda, but not a
You can't.
Tauntaun.
God, I can't remember who does a really especially they do the dying Tauntaun. It's
Bill
hilarious.
Hader. Bill Hader from SNL does a pretty good one.
That's it.
That's the guy that you just.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Just-
Yeah. That's when he was on Conan, I think.
Yeah.
But so that's Empire. We could go on Lando, first appearance of Lando on film.
Such a smooth old smoothie. I love it.
So I actually have another question for you guys. And this got me thinking. Spud Comics in the comments there, hasn't really seen much of Star Wars, and I was thinking about this. Whenever I'm getting someone into all of Star Wars, basically, because if I'm going to get someone into it, I'm making them watch everything. With considering the plot twist of Vader being Luke's father, do you guys usually have people watch the originals first, like watch the movies how they came out, or watch them in
Mhm.
episode order?
Yep. How they came out.
Yeah,
How
I've thought about this many times with many different people. I think it might vary slightly depending on the person's age.
Yeah.
But I always go to release order.
Yeah.
It's the best way to watch them.
I've done it both ways because when I've done it the release order way, it confused them a little bit. It was like, wait,
It does. It's like, oh, we're starting with 4 and 5, and so like it makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah. And then
But
going
once they get
back,
past
you're like,
that, they get
oh,
it.
okay. And then you're going into the clone, because I'll make them watch the Clone Wars show. I'll make them watch
as you should.
as you should. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, like it is a little bit confusing for someone like who knows nothing. So I was curious on what you guys, and for someone who might have never seen Star Wars before watching this live stream, what they might want to do.
It is definitely a little confusing when you, like, as you say, for people that don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
But it's the best way because you kind of absorb it as everybody else does. And it makes the movies that came after, like, yeah, the prequels take place before this.
Yeah.
But because you've seen the originals, it adds more to it.
Yes.
And it
I
kinda goes with
agree.
everything.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
get those
it's-
moments where it's you get oh, there's R2D2. That's and C3. Those like big like
Mm.
member berries before member berries. You know, you get those moments like oh, so yeah, that's
Yeah,
Right.
not many movies can do that where you start off and you go, and then a prequel comes out either in the middle or wherever, and it's completely different, right? Like, yeah, Lord of the Rings came out, but The Hobbit was still first, so we get to see that. Probably one of my favorite movies of all time, like the Underworld series, like the third movie, Rise of the Lycans, which is the prequel to 1 and 2. The fact that they did 2 movies and then went back and brought back Michael Sheen, it was just totally different, and it works. It works as a movie because then you get
Yeah.
to also see other characters that were in the first 2 movies, but again, it works as that with the as the
It-
prequel.
It adds to it.
Yes.
Yeah. And I will say it is like for someone who hasn't seen it before, like if you were to watch it in the way like chronologically, going from the first 2 episodes and then Clone Wars and then like animated stuff, Revenge of the Sith, and then going to the original trilogy, it's a little off for them.
I will say I've heard like beneficial to like some of that, like
Yeah.
especially if like they're kids and they're watching like episode 1 and 2, then they watch the Clone Wars and they just know Anakin as this hero,
Right.
and then all of a sudden it gets to this and like they'll be like devastated, like they'll learn
Yeah.
what depression is after that. But like so like I understand that way, I get it, but
yeah.
release order is the way to go in my opinion.
Yeah, I keep going back and forth. Every new person I introduce to everything, I always go back and forth on what I should do. So
It's an undertaking because there's
Yeah.
so much, but you hope and you pray that once they like watching it, like, okay, hey, what's next? Hey, what comes after this? Like, oh, let me tell you, you ready for 7 seasons of an animated show that's going to get better every season, and then a follow-up animated series that's 4 seasons long, that's top tier, like, and it leads into all this. It's incredible.
And it is funny with The Simpsons. With there's a point to this with what they did with The Shining with their Treehouse of Horror. Family Guy, what they did with
oh, so good.
Mhm.
I love
Now-
this. This is like my favorite Family Guy episodes.
It's so tough. It was so tough for me for a very long time to watch the Star Wars movies because me and a roommate at the time, we were huge Family Guy fans. So like when those were on, but actually between Family Guy and Robot Chicken,
Yeah, Robot
I-
Chicken does it.
it's
did it
very
first and
tough
did it
to
better.
Yeah, Robot Chicken does it pretty good too.
the original trilogy, and not like
Oh
go
my
back
God.
to those and not make fun of things.
The aluminum Falcon will never not make me laugh. That, and there's a joke in, I think it's like the second or third Family Guy one they do, and it's them coming up with the idea for the Death Star, and it's like Stewie and the Emperor like at a bar hammered, and he draws a circle on a napkin, and it's like a shitty ass circle. He's like, I mean, it's a nice circle. He's like, no, space station. What? Like, it's just the humor into it is very good. It's very funny.
Yeah.
And then I did want to show these. I know we kind of went along the way, but a visual to see where we all were with these. And it was I love doing the point systems, but I remember the only other time I did it was the MCU like 5 years ago, and I wasn't the one doing the math. So now I forgot how much went into it when it's just you doing the math, but it was fun. This was this was a really fun project we did, and I thought no better time than May 4th, this Monday,
Sunday.
Sunday.
Revenge of the Fifth is Monday.
Yep, and yeah, so that's how we came to this lovely little list here. This was really fun. If you guys want to go down the line, what did you guys, what were your thoughts on this video? How we can, talk about this list and what the master list ended up being.
I definitely was surprised with Chinmo with number 3 over there.
I like
But I
Force
also-
Awakens.
Yeah,
a
I also had a
lot of
feeling though, Justin, me and you, I feel like we were gonna have similar lists because I feel like I knew how you felt about the sequel trilogies too. So
Mm.
I feel like both of us were gonna have those pretty much all at the bottom.
Yeah, I would have thought Chinmo would have had those too. I figured a lot of us would have been the bottom of the barrel would have been the sequel trilogy. I'm very shocked that Chinmo's Clone Wars number 12.
So
That's
I
that's
tried
still-
to
and
take
even
it.
Attack of the
My
Clones,
check
man.
was up high too.
I
I'm
tried
shocked
to
at those
take it
two.
like how I see them, how I watch them, rewatchability. Like
Mm.
if you're talking Clone Wars as a series, I think it's
Well, yeah,
like
I get
together,
it.
Yeah,
it'd be
no,
a
I
lot different.
get
But I'm
it.
talking like
Yeah.
just those 3 episodes they put for a movie, and like I had to like weigh it against every. I try to balance it, and honestly, like I said, there's no wrong answer to this, and I love all of these. You put them on, I'll watch any one
Yeah.
of them right now.
Yeah.
Of course.
I love
of course.
them. They're incredible. Just and it's one thing you have to place them somewhere. That's why I
Yeah.
hate when Mike
Yeah.
makes me rank this stuff.
Yeah. And then, like you said earlier too, like I mean, I'm sure in a week, right?
Oh, yeah.
Where we have these, they could change, right? Just
Mhm.
something you're like, you know what, let me do this list randomly. Let me just do this list again, and I
Mhm.
won't even remember these 12 movies.
So
how I rank them. Like,
So I used to do a podcast with some friends. We called it was Same Old Hope. You could probably still find it on wherever for podcasts, but in 2019 leading up to Rise of Skywalker, every month we watched one of the theatrical releases in order, and at the end we did a ranking, and I actually went off of my ranking from that, and I had to change a lot around. There was a lot I moved around.
Interesting.
But if I'm going to leave a message with anybody that maybe hasn't seen Star Wars or loves Star Wars, keep on loving it. Give it a try. You know, it doesn't matter what other people think. There's something for everyone in Star Wars, and it's such a fun franchise. You know, go have some fun with it.
Yes.
That's very well said. There's rumors of movies. Just your quick thoughts. Where do you guys think they should go with future Star Wars movies? Something completely different. Go back to stick with the Skywalker stuff. Other gaps in between. I know we have comics, continue to have TV shows, but when it comes to the big screen, I know there's been so many rumors of Feige and Waititi, and the whole Kathleen Kennedy situation is crazy. But where would you like to see Star Wars on the big screen go?
I would like to see it go back to December releases. That's my biggest thing. I want it so it was so good. I realize all the other Star Wars movies were summer releases and it was a thing, but then they made the choice to go to like a Christmas time, and it worked fucking perfectly. And they decided to change it for no damn reason because they wanted a big blockbuster back. So that's where I want to see Star Wars movies go back to. Give me back my Christmas releases.
I want Old Republic.
Yeah, Old Republic would be dope.
I was happy. Listen, like High Republic's good. It just the Acolyte is the Acolyte, and it's the tail end of the High Republic. But I still think the High Republic has a way of getting into the not even a sequel trilogy, but a trilogy. But yeah, going back farther is where we really need to go. Like, let's just do a straight up. We all want to see just the Sith War. We want to see Sith versus Jedi. That's all we want to see. We don't want to see anything else.
Yeah,
I want to see a Mandalorian Jedi. I want to see that war.
Yeah, we all want to see that too.
Yeah, there's a lot of wars we need to see.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of untapped potential, especially in that era. I know they're supposedly doing like the Dawn of the Jedi movie, which I'm all for. Yeah. Hopefully that leads into more of what Justin was saying. I like the idea, give me some. I know they said they're making like a new Rey movie. Like, that's fine, that's cool. Like, continue that story off, whatever. But give me a lot of like these kind of standalones. They're supposed to be doing the Ryan Gosling Starfighter. That's supposed to be kind of like a standalone kind of thing. I'm all for it. Give me a lot of those cool, fun Rogue One kind of one-off movies.
I wanted the Patty Jenkins Rogue Squadron.
Exactly. Yeah, I wanted that. And then, mix it up. Give me those. And then do stuff like the Mando and Grogu, where it's tying into these TV shows and other stories they're telling. Give me all of it. Is it all going to be great? No. Am I going to enjoy it and like want to go see it because it's evolving on something? Absolutely.
At one point, wasn't the Mandalorian Grogu going to be a big connector of like their like take on Heir to the Empire?
Still doing that. Dave Filoni is still doing that movie. So
that movie is still happening?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Because I was like, it went from that to they're rescuing baby. I got a little confused with like what movies actually were coming out, were slated, because I'm a sucker, but it's like Luke coming into the Mandalorian, and then with him, if they do bring him in with the whole Thrawn stuff, I want to see that. I don't want to say kill the Skywalker stuff. If you still got good stories to tell, adapt, I'm all for it.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely excited to see Thrawn for sure come back. As far as the Skywalker stuff, I don't know. I feel like we've almost.
Noah really wants to say Luke. Luke's clone from the Heir of the Empire book. Put that extra U. That's what he wants to see.
Yeah, I don't know, but honestly, Kathleen Kennedy, she needs to go. My personal opinion. Dave Filoni needs to take over. I think he is just, creator of the Clone Wars and just has literally like mini me to George Lucas. I think.
George Lucas was the creator of the Clone Wars.
Well,
Yeah, Dave Filoni came in. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah,
he had a big hand in the Clone Wars and everything. He had a big hand in a lot of stuff, but sorry.
big hat. He's got a big hat.
He does have a big hat, yeah, and that big hat I think needs to take more of a role. But like you guys were saying, like a lot of the old stuff, like the Sith War and everything. I think that stuff would be really cool. The stuff with Rey, not excited for it, but I'll watch it, of course, because it's Star Wars. We'll see where it goes. I hope it turns out well, of course. I hope Star Wars does well in the future. I'm just ready for more Star Wars content. I need to catch up on Andor, too. I haven't even seen it.
Oh, my God. If you guys are not watching, this is for anybody listening. If you're not watching Andor, it is the first real adult Star Wars, and it's
I need to catch up. I wanted to watch the first season again before I...
That's fair, because it kind of takes place. It's heavy.
I still need to watch the first season.
Oh my God! Dude.
Oh my God!
Come on, Mike.
All right, can we kick Mike off his own show? Is that possible?
Can't do that.
We wouldn't be able to do like a Star Wars TV show listing because Mike's probably not seen half of them.
You know what? We'll do one on 3 Men in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I'm slacking with animated stuff, and only because I just ran out of time. I didn't even watch past the second, the last one that didn't do good, The Acolyte, and then Andor. I'm slacking, but I didn't see Skeleton Crew at all. So yes, I want to be able to.
Skeleton Crew is good too, honestly. Yeah.
Skeleton Crew is a blast.
Yeah, it was fun.
I just want Stranger Things. Once again, that's another
Skeleton Crew. It's Goonies and Stranger Things and Star Wars.
Pretty much.
Yeah. But guys, thank you so much. I know, we talked about this task. Not easy to do this in the matter of, a week or it was probably less than a week. So appreciate you guys taking time to do that. Hopping on tonight. This was fun. Chin, what do you got coming up?
Nothing.
Okay. Noah.
No. I got I do a bunch of stuff. I have to plug May 17th if you are in the New England area, the 3MIB comic swap. I can't wait. We're still planning everything. It's a nightmare to plan, but it's a super fun day, so it's worth it. But yeah, I got that going on. This Friday, I think, possibly, I don't know if I can get some friends to join me. If not, sometime soon, but free comic book day / May the 4th and Star Wars talk over on the 3 Men in the Basement channel and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome. It's going to be a fun time at the swap.
Can't wait.
Yes.
Noah.
Honestly, that's my next show is the swap, and we set up, for selling for the first time, so it'll be a lot of fun.
Popping the cherry.
Yeah, exactly. Popping the cherry for selling. Hopefully this will be gone. I'm putting something else up before.
I gotta tell you, I almost want you to leave it, but just put your stuff in front of it.
I don't know about that. I'm over it. I have to keep fixing it. I don't know if you guys noticed, but there was one that fell behind me as we were talking.
It makes it look like a real crime scene,
Yeah. And I'm ready for it to not look like a crime scene anymore. But hopefully I'll fix that soon. I'll get a new video out for myself for my channel. It's whenever I have the time at this point. But I'm always here, always talking comics. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Congrats on your Instagram milestone.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. Appreciate it.
You hit the big
1K, right?
1K, right?
Yep. Yeah, 1K followers on Instagram. Yep. And I just hit 730 on YouTube, so I'm getting up there.
Getting that 1K coming soon.
I hope so. By the end of the year, I'm thinking it'll definitely come. So, it's good. Yeah, I really appreciate everyone's support and love for that. So, yeah. Oh, that's why I'm still here.
I always joke about this, Noah, but I always consider you my Vader. I'm the Emperor. You're my Vader.
Yeah. No, pretty much. I'm the Padawan.
I always love making that joke.
Yeah.
And then lastly, Justin, what's happening with you?
You can find me every Friday on the Comic-Con podcast, part of the Uncensored Nerds Network, dropping new episodes. And then, I'll be at the swap in about 2 weeks. So
Oh my god,
Oh,
2
yeah.
weeks.
We'll all be at the swap. Everyone's got to come.
And I'm the only guy not setting up. I'm just there to buy, so I don't have to do anything besides set up tables.
I don't think I've ever seen you leave a show with less than a short box.
Wow, then you should have seen me Saturday at the Super Jersey.
Oh,
I literally
yeah.
spent $40. It was probably like this much of books.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was
Gotta
kind of
save up
weak.
for the swap.
It was kind of weak, but that was good because then more money goes to the swap. So
There you go. That's Save up for the swap. That's the way to do it.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. And then, yeah, so for me, I know I've been sporadic with my videos. It's been a while. Whenever an idea pops in my head and I can find a bunch of people to come talk about it, that's when it'll be. So stay tuned to my socials for the next one. I don't even want to say anything because I've said probably 100 things and none of them happened yet. So I appreciate everyone tuning in. The chats, as always. Anyone watching on the rewind, please comment, put your rankings, and please subscribe, like, share, all that fun jazz. And come to the swap if you're anywhere in
The
planet Earth.
continental United States.
I went as
Yeah.
far as the Earth.
Oh, that works even
any
better.
airport that can get to Hartford, right?
Yeah. Just
And,
trains, just planes, automobiles, whatever you need.
It's gonna be fun. It's the off week between Memorial's Mother's Day and Memorial Day. So yeah, it's fun. New Comic Book Day. I'll probably be going to Cave Comics in Newtown, Connecticut. Jerry Ordway will be there signing. So always great to
That's
see
pretty
him.
cool.
So you have an opportunity if you're in the Newtown, Connecticut area. And then everyone enjoy. I'm gonna call it May the 4th week. Why not? And watch some Star Wars, catch up, and come back. Let us know in the comments what your ranking is. As always, thank you to the 3 people tonight. Thanks for the chat. As always, thank you all. Be good, everybody.
Hey, may the force be with you.
There it is.